friend of yours?
Hi.
The Marvel's box office results are out, and they are astounding. $47 million. Wow, that's so much money.
Okay, so a not joke was, I would say, that suit is black. Not.
This suit is not black.
Yeah, wow. The Marvels broke a record it didn't want to break. The box office numbers are out, and the Marvels has garnered the unenviable spot as the worst debut for the entire MCU. I'm actually not that surprised. In the YouTube community that the critical drinker Nerdrotic Chris Gore started, we've known this for the better part of 4 years. And now, the mainstream media has finally caught on to the fact that the MCU is dying. But can the ship be turned around? Join me, dear viewer, as I dive deep into the dumpster fire that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The main problem with Marvel, but more specifically Disney, is that they got greedy when they started Disney+. They felt they needed to compete against the behemoths, Netflix and Amazon. What they didn't realize is that they had a niche platform that didn't appeal broadly enough. What made Netflix successful is their wide breadth of content, which appeals to more people than Disney's library of content. Disney spent so much money on the infrastructure that they felt they needed to catch up. And whenever you try to catch up in business, you end up failing harder. Just ask Elizabeth Holmes. It's like quicksand, don't struggle. But Disney couldn't fathom the possibility of failure, so they oversaturated the market with cheap, low-quality products in WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, and the steaming pile of cow dung that was She-Hulk. Oh, and I forgot about that Miss Marvel show that nobody watched. A little lesson about business here. When there's not enough demand, don't overproduce because people won't be buying your product and you'll end up losing money. It's simple finance 101. What Marvel really needed to do was let the audience breathe a little after Endgame. That level of box office success was unsustainable and costs kept creeping up. The costs of producing a Marvel movie have creeped up all the way to $300 million for the Marvels. And with an opening weekend of $47 million, just breaking even, never mind making a profit, is a mathematical impossibility.
You can't scale for infinite. It's like trying to divide by zero.
Apparently, the new Captain America movie has been delayed from February 2024 all the way to 2025. Disney just isn't learning any lessons here. As I reported earlier in the spring, the Marvel suffered from extensive rewrites and reshoots, and even an absentee director with Nia DaCosta having other commitments in London. Now they're repeating the same mistake with Captain America New World Order, whose production is an utter disaster. When you have to do extensive reshoots, you know you're in trouble. Reshoots run up costs of production because actors are contractually bound by multiple projects, and money is owed whenever time is lost on either side of either project. I wouldn't be surprised if costs ballooned to $400 million at this point. This is truly unsustainable. But what could they have done differently to prevent all this? Well, for one thing, the pandemic provided the perfect breather for Marvel to take some time off, regroup, plan, and strategize the next decade. But for some reason, Kevin Feige utterly failed at this, which is surprising because he had such a brilliant plan from the outset. It's a clear case of not knowing what to do once you get success. Look, I get that Disney was excited about starting its own streaming platform, but what they didn't realize was that most consumers aren't going to pay for more than 2 streaming services at most. Hell, I certainly don't. The crux of the problem here is that Disney failed to see the overall theme of oversaturation. Not only is the broader market oversaturated with streaming services, but audiences were being oversaturated with content from Disney that they weren't watching. Essentially, Disney drastically overestimated consumer demand. Now Disney is stuck with a dead franchise it paid tons of money for back in 2008. Actually, it's not just one dead franchise, it's 2. I almost forgot about Star Wars. Disney is losing money hand over fist because of mistake after mistake that they've made. It also doesn't help that they set a bad priority, pandering to the tyranny of the hyper minority.
Fuck Indiana Jones, put a chick in it and make her name it gay!
The overuse of the Pander Stone was just one of the things that ultimately destroyed Disney. A general lack of planning and strategy is largely to blame with the Marvel side of things. Where does Disney go from here though? I'm a hopeful individual and I do think that the South Park special, while too little too late, may have been the watershed moment. Combined with the arrival of Nelson Peltz, the South Park special may be the catalyst to purge Disney from its bad leadership. Because it's not Brie Larson that's the problem here. It's terrible leadership with a lack of vision, planning, and strategy. Contrary to popular opinion, it's become very obvious that Brie Larson is not to blame for the current state of Captain Marvel or the MCU. She did her level best to work with the shit script and non-existent direction she received. I honestly do feel bad for her. She received so much hate, some of it deserved, but most of which should have been directed at leadership like Bob Iger and Kevin Feige. That's actually why the South Park special was too little too late, and it didn't have as much bite as it should have. Had it attacked Kevin Feige, I think the South Park special could have had a bigger impact on the state of things over at Marvel. Many other YouTube channels are calling this the end of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I can't say I disagree. Quality has degraded beyond the point of saving. The film industry has no choice but to decrease budgets and focus on making quality content. One avenue that the big blockbuster can take to survive is video game adaptations, which is what we've been seeing lately. But what the Marvels did prove is that the gas in the tank has finally run out for Disney. But what do you guys think of all this? Do you think the MCU is dead, or does it have some life left? Please do let me know down below in the comments. And as always, hit that like button, ring that notification bell, and smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.